and welcome to Good Morning BSN, the last episode for the year 2024. With the resumption of the new Good Morning BSN next year will be on January 14th. Between now and then, if you are interested in participating in the Good Morning BSN program, please do not hesitate to inform us. We'll be extremely glad to share with you the procedure for participation. Since you have registered, you could send a mail and we'll let you know what needs to be done to ensure that you participate in the Good Morning BSN either as a speaker or as a reflector. This morning, we'll be talking around emotional intelligence. And this is one of the ways within which we are presenting a number of different topics associated with great leadership. As you are all aware, great leadership from BSN, we have been driving this process for years, and great leadership from BSN was made specifically available so that every single one of us would participate in the concept of learning how to be better leaders in our individual roles, either in an NGO setting or in a business setting. And over the past few years, we have been building on the foundation of making everybody to become better leaders, irrespective of wherever you are located. It was part of the vision of the organization to make everybody to become better leaders worldwide that has encouraged us to bring Good Morning BSN to bring Good Morning BSN to the doorstep of everybody through the webinar. And we believe that today, as we share the Good Morning BSN, we hope to be able to learn one or two things about great leadership. And there are 4 pillars of great leadership. One is change leadership, where you are given exposure at the context of what you need to learn about leading change, or when change has occurred, how to manage change as a leader. And it requires that you be visionary, you be adaptable. We also have and show empathy. The second form of leadership that we have spoken around before now is the concept of decision-making leadership. And we expect you to be able to make sound, informed, and timely decisions using analytical and strategic thinking approach, being decisive, being accountable. The third form of leadership is performance leadership, where we expected that everything that you are doing must be able to generate results. And we expect you to set goals, to execute, to coach, and to develop. In order to be able to execute, it's important to understand the feelings of other people, to know what needs to be done, and to be able to engage others in a very powerful way. And so today, we have a speaker who will be speaking around that aspect. The fourth form of pillar is the responsible leadership, where we expect ethics and integrity, stakeholder inclusivity to actually come into being. For today, we have prepared for us a great speaker who's going to speak about the role of emotional intelligence in leadership, a specialist in this area, one who has been a great mentor to me, and one who has succeeded and enthusiastically been a people practitioner with a wealth of experience, interfacing with C-suite HR leaders, and been able to do a number of things in diverse HR function, has been able to drive diversity and inclusion, organizational culture, and employee engagement. She's always excited to share her opinion and should share with people in order to mentor people and in various career events. particularly with job seekers, to be able to help them with their skills. And she's been able to actually help new hires to secure dream jobs and been able to build network that has helped to increase people's network, as she also increases her own network day by day. A graduate of Business School, Netherlands. We have her as an entrepreneur. She formed the Workplace with JAM, which is a people development training and coaching firm. She also founded the Lifestyle with JAM, which is an exclusive lifestyle brand that offers a wide range of scented candles, lead diffusers, etc., etc. She has played very key role, and she has been recognized both nationally, continentally, and worldwide as a member of the African Leadership. She has obtained a African Leadership Award. She's been able to be rewarded as the African most talented HR leaders. She has been listed among the so-called most inclusive HR influencers in 2020, 30 leading women in HR in Nigeria. She's been recognized on agility, and she's an honorary doctorate of philosophy and distinguished fellow from the Leadership, Manpower and Management Development Organization Institute. Ladies and gentlemen, I will soon be inviting Dr. Jumoke Aleoke-Malachi to speak. Just before she speaks, let me use the opportunity to also state that after she must have finished speaking, we have somebody who will speak for about 5 minutes to reflect on the topic of the day for this Good Morning BSN, the 38th edition, which is the last for the year. Our reflector today is a CEO and founder, a visionary CEO and founder of the Trixis Technologies, a pioneering company which was established almost 20 years ago, dedicated to delivering cutting-edge IT solutions across various industries. And with over 2 decades of professional experience, he's been able to build a reputation for driving innovation. With BSc degree in engineering, electronic engineering from Federal University, Akure, and currently running a postgraduate master's in business admin from the prestigious Business School, Netherlands. He's been able to also earn advanced leadership certificate from the prestigious Daystar Leadership Academy. He's done specialized training in project management, and it's somebody who has played very key role on various tech support for various organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, let me also introduce Mr. Areola Bolurinwa. You are welcome. On this note, it's a great pleasure for me. We also have with us today our global president, Annette Nitz, who's here and whose idea is to start this program in order to ensure that global leadership is spread to every nook and cranny of the globe. And we do hope that as you hear about global leadership today, you take some learnings away. Do not hesitate to tell your friends to also register for this program. I would like to invite Dr. Jumoke Aleoke-Malachi to please start our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, LB, and it's a real honor to be back here. The last time I was at the BSN, Good Morning BSN, I was a reflector. So I'm back here as a presenter, and I'm happy, always grateful for the opportunity to come and share. As I thought to share about the role of emotional intelligence in leadership, this morning something occurred to me to say, when we get together with our friends, we've not seen ourselves for a bit, and then we're catching up over drinks or coffee, as the case may be. What are the things we typically talk about? Maybe family, what's happening on the home front. And I think the most important one is work. So you're talking about, my boss did this. Oh, my colleague said that. And I find that when you have friends who there's a lot to rant about in the workplace. Go and check it. Some elements of emotional intelligence are missing in that work environment. And that's why you have people who are having a lot of things to complain about. Maybe it's their colleague or their line managers. And so we're going to be talking about the role of emotional intelligence in leadership. And one thing I've found over the years in my career is it is not overrated. And so to just give context, I thought to define emotional intelligence. And I have just 15 minutes. I have a timer set on my phone, so that I'm mindful of that, and allow me to breeze through my slides. And I can take questions afterwards. So what is emotional intelligence? Like LB said, I have a certification in emotional intelligence. One thing I've taken interest in, even as a HR practitioner and as a leader, so that I can do right by my people. But two key definitions stood out for me in my journey in emotional intelligence. And it's the first one by 6 Seconds Network. The second one by Peter Salovey, I love, but I'll define very quickly. So 6 Seconds Network, which is a network that is, churning a lot of content on emotional intelligence. They defined it as how you effectively blend your thinking and feeling capacity to make optimal decisions. And like I always say, we're all decision-making beings. What I decided to wear today, a decision. Whether I will come with my natural hair or wear something else on it, a decision. Whether you will join this call today, or maybe you won't join, another decision. We are decision-making beings. And so we're learning that emotional intelligence talks about how we blend effectively our thinking and feeling capacity to make optimal decisions. And my favorite definition is by Peter Salovey. And Peter says, emotional intelligence is being smart with your feelings. So when I take sessions like this, I typically say, we need to be smart with our time. We need to be smart with our money. How many of us are deliberate to be smart with our feelings? And so being smart with your money is you earn a salary, and then like, I will save this, I will invest that one, I will spend and splurge this one, I will give to that person. We can plan our money. But how many of us are deliberate to plan our feelings? To say, I wake up today, it doesn't matter what the temperature is or the weather, it will be a great day. And so even when things go contrary to the way you have planned, you remember the decision you made to be smart with your feelings. That's just giving a context. And so when we talk about emotional intelligence, there are 4 key cardinal points that help us display emotional intelligence. The very first one is self-awareness. The second is self-management. The third is social awareness. And the last one is relationship management. Now, there are a lot of competencies embedded in this, but if you want to take a picture, I may not be able to go through each one. But self-awareness is really knowing you. I always say, if somebody asks you what's your favorite color, your favorite food, many of us, we know that on behalf of other people. You know it for your children, you know it for your spouse, you may not even know it for yourself. But it's important that you know those little details about yourself. What makes you tick? What's the unique sauce you bring to the world? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And we all have them. So do you know those things enough? If you know those things enough, it gives you an edge in life. And that's a place of self-awareness. And self-awareness, I always say, when people who are self-aware, they have a healthy dose of self-esteem and self-confidence. They can come across as cocky, but it is that they know who they are enough. Ideally, you should not be cocky or proud or rub off on other people in the wrong ways. But you come with a level of confidence, and your self-esteem is, top-notch. And so when you have that as a line manager, as a leader, you will not be uncomfortable when you have people within your team who are just as strong-willed and just as confident. You will not be insecure. So as a spouse, allow me to go there, as a line manager, as a friend, when you are self-aware, you will not be insecure. Let me leave it at that. Self-management talks about how we can self-regulate, knowing that you are the CEO of your life. You know who to hire, who to fire. You know when to stop doing something. You know when to start doing something. I tell people that I attended Babcock University. And while I was on campus, it's a private university. We had timetable for everything. When you go to class, when you go for lunch. And I felt like, well, are they controlling my life? I felt like, why are they telling me what to do? But right now, I have an alarm on my phone by 12 to stretch and say prayer. I have an alarm that wakes me up, about 4 alarms to make sure I get out of bed. I have an alarm by 2 o'clock to make sure I have lunch. Because there are times I work so hard, I forget to eat. I have an alarm that says, have lunch. I have an alarm that says go to the gym on the days that my relationship with the gym is cordial. I have an alarm that says go to bed. I have an alarm that tells me go to bed every day. So I'm saying, even though when I was on campus, it felt like, why are they controlling me? Is it that I'm controlling myself or my life will be out of order? So that is the place of self-management, being able to have those, regulations around you that help you stay sharp. I go on very quickly. Social awareness is the next key cardinal point, and it talks about how we are deliberate to, have empathy, how we are aware of our environment in an organization, in life. One example I like to give is in the COVID year. Imagine you come across someone and the person goes, and you're telling the person that, this COVID, oh, and the person goes, COVID, what's that? I'm sure you would take off. Because if the person didn't know what COVID meant, it meant they were not even taking those precautions. You were washing your hands and wearing mask. So you want to first run away in case this person has been exposed. So that's awareness, to know what is going on around you within your organization and in life generally. And one thing I would like to emphasize is, if you look at self-awareness and self-management, they focus on yourself. So if you're going to crack emotional intelligence, you need to do it for yourself first. And that's one thing we've always emphasized, and we've had a lot of leadership scholars talk about, that the first form of leadership is self-leadership. If you can lead self, you can lead anybody else. So look at these 4 cardinal points. First, to emphasize self. The last to talk about your interactions with other people. So social awareness, your interaction with others. And then the last one is relationship management. And I will say again that I'm back here in this session is a function of relationships. I've been in touch with BSN, been in touch with Dr. Oke. Relationships. I always say relationships make things happen. There are some doors that you may not be able to open by yourself, but by the virtue of the relationships you have built, those doors will open. And like I said, there are many more competencies embedded in these 4 cardinal points, and we can take a picture and sort of read through them to help us better grasp the concept of emotional intelligence. But like I said, first is the focus on you, and then a focus on your interactions with other people. Because if God meant that you and I would live in silos, then we will be on different islands, just existing by ourselves. But by the virtue of even the way the world is functioning, the world is structured, you need to function in conjunction with other people. Okay, I didn't mean to rhyme it like that, but yeah. We need to function, interacting with other people. And so how we lead ourselves is important. Also, how we get along with other people. And so when and that's, I've given some context around the workplace. And so why is EQ in leadership? What really is the first? A lot of people think emotional intelligence is overrated. I'm a HR practitioner. This is my 15th year in human resources. And I've seen that technical competence can get you the job. What will help you scale? What will help you grow? What will help you get promoted? Are the things we call soft skills that are actually not soft, but they are power skills. And a huge chunk of them are embedded in emotional intelligence. So if you want to grow in your career, you want to scale, you want to get promoted, please go and crack emotional intelligence. It will stand you out. So what's the thought about EQ? EQ plays a pivotal role in leadership, influencing how leaders perceive, understand, and manage their emotions and those of others. It is a cornerstone for building effective leadership because it impacts communication, decision-making, team dynamics, and organizational culture. So I would share very quickly, what the role of EQ is. So if you come across leaders who have emotional intelligence, they are more self-aware. I've talked about self-awareness. So that you are a leader, you want to see your people succeed because you're coming from the premise of self-awareness. You are not intimidated, you're not oppressed, you're not insecure. I tell people that when I have stars on my team, I'm okay. It doesn't make me uncomfortable. And that's the place of self-awareness. Being able to recreate your kind, being okay with seeing other people succeed. So leaders with IEQ are more self-aware, and we need that in the workplace. Leaders with EQ are able to build and maintain meaningful relationships. People say people don't leave organizations, they leave bosses. So go and check it as a line manager. If people are constantly leaving you and the complaint is about how you manage them, check it. If you're not able to build relationship with your team members, with other seniors at your level, with seniors across your organization, it's an issue. And it is EQ that is lacking. Leaders with IEQ are able to motivate and inspire their teams. You understand that your people showing up and putting their best foot forward is your responsibility. I'm an HR person, and I tell line managers that you are the first HR manager your team members know. Before you come and escalate to HR, have you created an enabling environment for them? Have you done right by them? If you're a line manager that you are waiting till appraisal period to tell people how they are faring, you have failed your people. You should tell them on the go. You see them going the wrong way, drag them back and say, nah, you don't do that. This is what I need you to do. So that when we get to appraisal, there are no surprises. But some line managers are that they are waiting for you at appraisal. They need you to goof so that they can show off you have failed. Like I said, I went to Babcock University, and my first degree is in English. And one of the things I learned in literature was a tiger does not need to shout his tigritude. So if you're a line manager and you feel the need to show that I'm the boss, there's already a problem. You should not need to show that you're the boss. You should have earned it by the way that you manage your people. And you should understand that their motivation, their inspiration should come from you. That's why you're earning the salary you're earning, typically a fat one. EQ helps leaders be composed under pressure. You will learn resilience. You will learn staying power. You will learn grit. Even when life is lifing, even when things are going wrong in your personal life, you still know to show up because you know people are depending on you. And so emotional intelligence helps you to compartmentalize. It helps you to manage pressure. Leaders with EQ excel in creating collaborative and inclusive workplace cultures. I'll give a quick example. I had 2 team leads in my team last year, and one of them reported to me to say, this person offended me. And I said, the first thing I said to him was, I can't afford to have both of you be at loggerheads. You are my generals. And I called both of them into a session, and I said, let's talk about it. What's the issue? When that session finished, the guy came back to me and said, you are rare, because some other bosses would be happy that both of us are having issues. And I'm like, I can't thrive on the confusion in my team. So I am deliberate to create that collaborative environment, and that's what you should do as a boss and line manager. EQ enables leaders to integrate both logic and emotion in decision making. You cannot be all logic and you cannot be all emotion. When you are emotionally intelligent, you know to balance both, because that's what we're all about. Our logic, and I remember when I defined it earlier, feeling and thinking. So it's important, a combination of both. And then lastly, leaders with EQ can influence organizational culture by modeling behaviors like respect, empathy, open communication, and feedback. So when you are a line manager who has emotional intelligence, you will not have an issue respecting your team members, even if they are 6 grades away from you. You will be okay with showing empathy, putting yourself in their shoes, even if their reality is not your reality. And that's what empathy is, putting yourself in the other person's shoes. If you're a line manager who has emotional intelligence, you are okay with open communication. You are okay with feedback. You are okay with taking feedback and receiving feedback. You are okay with, taking feedback and giving feedback. And that is a line manager that when the feedback comes, you're not defensive. As I round up, because I have just, think about a minute. Emotional intelligence is not just a desirable trait for leaders. It is essential for navigating the complexities of modern workplaces. By mastering EI or EQ, as the case may be, leaders can inspire trust, enhance team performance, and drive sustainable success, ensuring that both employees and the organizations thrive. And that's why we are hired as line managers. That's why we're hired as leaders, to make sure that we make our people thrive and our organizations also thrive. LB, I have 21 extra seconds. I think I did great. LB, you're muted.
Thank you so much. You're such a wonderful person. We would like Areola to start to share reflection after that wonderful delivery from Jumoke. While Areola is reflecting, if you have any question, go to the Q&A and please share your question on the Q&A. And after Areola's presentation, we will share your question with the speaker and the reflector, and we will be able to address them. Over to you, Areola.
Yeah. So good morning, BSN. Thank you very much, LB, and also the the management of BSN for giving me this awesome opportunity to reflect on the topic role of leaders, role of emotional intelligence in leadership. And I want to appreciate the presenter, Jumoke. She has actually done a very good job, to that particular topic. And so on my reflection this morning, I basically will be focusing not to sound repetitive of so many things that she has said in a very short time, and the basic thing there is that she really emphasized on the use of emotional intelligence, and also how we can take advantage of this as leaders. And the four components you mentioned really that strike with me is the self-awareness and also the self-management. Because the truth is that what you don't have, you can't give it, as a leader. And for me, self-awareness is very, very key. And I'll be focusing majorly on how we need to strengthen ourselves, on how we need to improve ourselves relating to self-awareness, and what are the things that we need to do as leaders, to help us strengthen this particular skill for us to be able to manage our team. Because the truth is that everything really rises and falls on leadership, and leaders actually set the tone for any organization. And if there is lack of emotional intelligence, it has a very far-reaching consequences, and it may also lead to lower employee engagement. So I'll be focusing more on the self-awareness component of the emotional intelligence skill. So what are you doing as a leader, to improve on your EQ? And for me, one of the things that I do as a leader and as a business owner is that having the opportunity to lead people in the profit and also a non-profit organization is for me to really, really try as much as possible to journal, to write things down, the things that I do. And when I get to my tribe, as much as possible to get back to what are the things that have happened, how have I reacted, how, looking at the strength, looking at the weaknesses, the things that were the positive one, and also the negative one, so that you can learn, from your own experiences. I think that's very, very key. And also, it's also important that we do some sort of a 360-degree assessment. As in, for me, one of my sounding board is actually my wife. When I get into the house, this is what happened in the office today. This is my reaction to it. What do you think? How could I have been able to manage it? From that, you get feedback. But in an organization setting, you can ask maybe your bosses, how am I doing? Your colleagues, you can ask them. That will give you the feedback, that you need to help you, in all of this. And the other thing is also for you as a leader, you need to learn also how to, listen actively. How to listen actively, listen to your colleagues. I had an experience about 2 or 3 days ago. One of my business development personnel, sent me an IV to come and to an invitation to his a DJ work. And for the first time, I'm hearing that the guy that is a DJ. So I asked his line manager, I said, I got an invitation from this man, a salesperson for DJ. He told me then he told me, this guy is a very big DJ. Oh, you need to see what he's doing. Initially my reaction was, you guys, you are not even performing. So it's DJ that you are doing. So I kept quiet. But in my mind, when I look at it on the second thought, looking at the emotion behind, I said, okay, I'm going to attend the DJs. I want to see what he is doing. So about 2 days ago, he came to meet me in the office and he said, see, this is my plan for the DJ. So what, are you coming? I said, I'm coming. And the whole of it is that the DJ, whatever, is also for him to market even the business. So he has told me he has created a platform even for the business. So if I had reacted initially, if I have not listened to him or find out, as a leader, that is what we need to do. We must not look at the face value of what our colleagues or our superior, what they tell us per time. And that speaks to paying attention to our emotions, because self-awareness is very foundational in everything that we do, as a leader. And the second point I want to really put my hand on is the fact that is the self-management. And I think Jumoke actually speak to that, self-management. That has to do with a discipline. I think my time is up. So thank you. I'll stop at this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bolurinwa, for a very wonderful reflection, which is part of the hallmark of action learning. Jumoke has spoken extensively about emotional intelligence and its implication for responsible leadership, and how she has had calls to manage conflicts, how she has used it to build relationship. Bolurinwa has also emphasized the need for us to learn how to listen, how to get a soundbite, how to be able to get to understand other people. And there are comments for the two of you to take note of. And for the audience, Igor Rienru said emotional intelligence is the secret source of that transforms a leader from managing people to truly inspiring them. When we master our emotions, we unlock personal growth. We create an environment where others thrive, and this is leadership at its best. Thank you, Igor. Omolola Emmanuel, we like to see the second to the last slide of the presenter. She wants to snap it. So while the Q&A is going on, Jumoke might just be kind enough to share the second to the last slide in order for her to snap it. So I will send the invoice to you, Omolola, because we've had us to take one more step. Bruno said, how do you remain consistent in your show of EQ, even when it is seen as a weakness by other people around you? Let me ask Bolurinwa to speak first.
Okay, so how do you remain consistent? I think for me, it's EQ is part of life, and it's a continuous process, because the world in itself is a very, very complex. The world itself is complex. So for me, it's a constant thing, because you meet different people at different places and different organizations, and culture also has its place, to play, even in emotional intelligence. For example, maybe you have been in Lagos, and you have to move to a different place with different tradition and even culture, so to speak. So it's something that we need to learn. It's a continuous learning process to improve. That's my response. Thank you.
Thank you. Jumoke, what's your take on this?
Again, I would refer to self-awareness. So if by being self-aware, somebody gives an impression that I'm weak, that doesn't also define me. And I always say that in my interactions with my team members, I am deliberate to balance things. So I'm not a weak leader, no. Allow me to speak pidgin. I always say, my emotional intelligence I get, I'm not stupid. So even though I display emotional intelligence, I will hold you accountable. I share the link on my team's group. So I know a few of my team members will be on the call and they can testify to the fact. I am your line manager. I have your back. I want to inspire you. I want to motivate you. But you have to get your job done. So if in holding you accountable, you are saying, oh, she's now mean. Well, but the work needs to get done. And then I also will not allow that your impression, like I said, I'm coming with a healthy dose of self-esteem and self-confidence. So I'm not afraid to hold people accountable. I'm not afraid to hold you to higher standards. But at the core of my interactions with you, you will know that I truly care in the way that I give you feedback. I've worked with bosses that the way they give you feedback, they will yell at you that you won't even have the inspiration to do that job again, or you don't even look forward to coming to work. I'm deliberate to create an enabling environment for you. So you even owe it to me. And that's a place of empathy. And like I always say to my team members, when the chips are down, you're not the one who gets called. I'm the one who gets called out. So I will hold you accountable, but I won't mince words when I'm giving you feedback and when I'm letting you see that the work needs to get done. So I don't know if I've, again, it's a balancing act. And as long as you choose this path of emotional intelligence, people will take you for granted. Please know it. There are times that I'll be like, is it because I'm kind to you guys? You guys think, because there are bosses who will be nasty to you. Yes, there are bosses who will be nasty and they don't owe you any explanation. And you still, Max, you will resign and say you don't want to do anymore. So people will take it for granted, but know why you are doing it. Am I doing it because I want to look like a nice boss? I'm not nice. I'm kind. There's kindness at my core. So as much as I'm holding you accountable for work, I will demand excellence and I will do it. You will know that I care about you, but you do your work.
Thank you.
I hope that helps.
I would like to ask you, Jumoke.
Yes, sir.
That's the last question we'll be able to take because you have just 1 minute. So you have 30 seconds to answer.
Okay, sir.
Elon Musk shows the opposite of what you have taught, EI, emotional intelligence. Still, he is exceptionally successful in his business. What's your opinion about this kind of leadership?
Again, it's about what works for you. Yeah. So if he has done what he has done, is it working? Because I imagine that some people have those environments are what they crave. And that's what I've said. When you even have a boss who shows you kindness, you almost don't even want to take it. You almost want to trigger them so that their reactions, and that's why I said, know why you're doing what you're doing. I'm not treating people with emotional intelligence because I want to be liked. I'm not ice cream. I'm also not Santa Claus. And I say that even Santa Claus comes out once a year to give gifts to people who have done well. It's not Santa every day of the year. So if Elon Musk is doing that, is it working for him? That's why he's still doing it. Are there people who have left Elon Musk because of that style? Maybe. Are there people who are there because they're like, this is how I like to be managed. I need you yelling and screaming at me and I will get it. I need you tough and hard and I will get it. Maybe the people who are staying back it works for them. And that's why I've said, why are you choosing EQ? And that's why I've given context. So again, look at it. What environment are you in? What works for you? But if it's not working, again, they say insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Thank you so much, Jumoke. That's all we can take for today. We would like to remind everybody that we are resuming with the talk today. Says discussion on EI is around responsible leadership. And we do know that one of the key things that EI also does, that it helps in getting other people to have an understanding of the vision, the mission, the direction that the company and organization is moving. And this is one of the critical things that is missing in traditional MBA program. The Business School Netherlands has been able to identify the importance of strategy execution. And we have made the MBA program to be an action learning in orientation, in curriculum, in implementation. This is what makes a big difference. You've seen a product of the schools who has had us to speak today for just 15 minutes. And so imagine if we're in a class for hours, listening to the likes of Jumoke, and this is what we enjoy every day in this school. We'd like to meet you on Tuesday, January 14th for the 39th episode. It will be the first in the new year. And just like we have broken history today, this is the 38th episode, and we have been able to record over 113 attendees. We look forward to even having more people. Use this holiday period to please spread this news among your friends so that when we come in January, we should be more looking forward to hitting the 200 marks within quarter one. We look forward to more and more of you participating. Look forward to more and more of you speaking, more and more of you coming around to say you want to reflect. We'd like to thank Jumoke and Bolurinwa for being great ambassadors of the school and for the opportunity you've given to us today to listen to you. Please, Bolurinwa and Jumoke, please hold on while others exit. Thank you. See you next year. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.